Let's face it, the last couple of years have not been a great time to be a Bristol City fan. And we fully understand that our supporters will be having serious reservations about whether or not to part with our hard-earned cash for more of the same next season. Your support of the football club is beyond doubt, but you're telling us that this year you want to buy more than a seat. Now that we've been relegated, you want to fully understand what the vision is for this club going forward. Recently, you'll have heard a lot of talk about the 5 pillars around which we plan to build the future of Bristol City. We'd like to take a few minutes now to explain to you exactly what we mean by that. As with all other clubs in League One, there's a wind of change blowing through the financing of football.
Well, financial fair play in League One is based around a salary cap where you can spend 60% of your turnover on players' wages. So that'll be our main restriction in League One. But obviously we'll be planning with hopefully the financial fair play rules of the Championship affecting us again in the near future.
In the past it's been a bit too much, Steve Lansdowne will pay for that. Well, those days are over now. The days going forward are that Steve Lansdowne will support the investment that the club comes up with, which is right for the football club, to make it better, to make it more profitable, to make it a better business, which will then be a better footballing place, if you like, for the supporters to come and enjoy.
We're also looking at making changes in the way in which we recruit players.
Well, I think the vision is to get back to where this club was when, he got promoted from League One, and then in the following season sort of became a hair's breadth away from being in the Premier Division, and all the traits that team and that period of time at the football club, trying to recreate that again. It'd be a different way, it'd be different personnel, but that's what you're aiming at. It's never going to be easy. Football's never easy. But there's a lot of goodwill amongst the staff, there's a lot of goodwill amongst the supporters. I think this is a club where everybody wants to be successful. We've just got to make sure that we find a way that everybody can buy into.
The last 2 or 3 years hasn't been great on the pitch, so they've turned that round in the fact that they're making massive sweeping changes off the pitch, i.e. why I'm sitting in the chair today.
Now that the dust has settled, the players have had time to reflect on last season.
I feel they're an underachieving squad, so it's important that we get them achieving their goals as well as ours. Good characters in the football club, good characters with a work ethic here to take this club forward. You obviously would like a fresh group, a freshness about the training areas and everything else. So predominantly we will be recruiting into the under-21s, so they'll be a backbone of our side for years to come.
But in reality, the best players that we've had are the players that have come in when they're young and they're hungry and they can be developed and they want to improve. They want to wear the shirt, as I say. They want to go and play football and improve their careers, and in so doing, improve Bristol City's potential as well.
Recent months have seen some huge changes at the academy, including an application for Category 2 status as part of the newly introduced Elite Player Performance Plan, or EPPP.
We're happy that we've worked around the clock and we've put in as much time and as much energy and as much vision and passion that we possibly could have in the time that we had. But I'm really pleased that we've got the best workforce in the country, and if anybody can put together in a short space of time the requirements that EPPP outlined, is our workforce, is our staff base. They're fantastic. We will get to hear as to whether or not we've been successful on the 20th of June. This last season has seen great change at the academy. There isn't much that's remained unchanged, but we've changed the right things for all of the right reasons.
Last season also saw the introduction of the under-21 development squad.
I think if you're going to have an under-21 group, that should reflect your first team, i.e. we lose a senior player out of our first team squad, our under-21 player then just drops into that, and that way you create round pegs in round holes.
Our vision for the future of this academy is clearly to produce the next generation of Bristol City footballers.
The underlying foundation of this football club from a playing point of view is the academy. So we're going to invest in that academy. We already are. We're going to invest into that academy going forward, make sure the coaching's right, make sure we bring the kids on, make sure the equipment is right within the academy, and push it forward, because that's so vitally important for the future of this football club.
The Bristol City Community Trust has been a huge success story, and everyone at City has got right behind it.
Player appearances, for instance, this year have been fantastic. We've used those in all sorts of different scenarios where we've had them going into schools, going into after-school sessions. The kids have absolutely delighted in seeing the players come in. It's like 250% increase this year in the amount of player appearances. That's making a significant difference.
Our work in the community shows just how inspirational the power of football can be.
We're starting to show young people what life behind the scenes at a football club really is like. And it's those sorts of opportunities that you don't get anywhere else.
For me, one of the highlights of the day is picking up the mascots, meeting them at the Williams stand at 1 o'clock, and then taking them around the side of the pitch, showing them the whole stadium, taking them into the change rooms, and you can see their faces just light up, and they're fantastic, the players, with all of the children that come in, and they get autographs and things, and they don't stop smiling from when they meet the players to when they walk out and stand in front of 12,000 people.
The progress we've made so far with the Bristol City Community Trust has been immense, and I'm so proud of that. This is where we are, South Bristol, this is our community. If the football club is doing well, putting money back into the community, putting effort back into the community, and the community is doing the same for the football club, then it is a win-win situation.
It's clear we need new stadium facilities.
So I suppose one of the biggest decisions that we can consult the fan base on is facilities. Whether we stay at Ashton Gate in a redeveloped Ashton Gate or whether we move across to Ashton Vale, it's going to be really important that each individual supporter group is consulted throughout the process.
This club needs to have a good stadium to play at. It needs to be able to house, in my opinion, a minimum of 25 to 30,000 people. We want to play at the highest level and the best possible surroundings, and that includes the training ground as well as the stadium.
There's also been a real change in the way in which we interact with supporters.
I think in the past the club hasn't been potentially as good as it could have been at listening to fans. I think what we want to do is to genuinely engage, is to listen to people. We need to show supporters that they may have heard this before, this may be the same old noises coming out of Ashton Gate. What I can say is that there's been a genuine culture shift at the football club, and supporters are going to start to see us to do as opposed to just to say.
We're in this, what I call a boat that's called Bristol City, and from the owner, the coach, everyone, myself, down to the kit man, we're in the boat and we have to go one way now. That's the only thing that will take this club forward, is that we all buy into the ethos and the DNA of where this football club needs to be and needs to go.
For that discussion to have any meaning, you want to see action.
A number of relatively big decisions were made with regards to fan engagement. Firstly, the initiation of the Fans Parliament, which was set up almost 12 months ago now, to start to feed back in. We do look at the forums, we do use Twitter and Facebook to engage, but we felt a more formal approach to genuine fan engagement was much needed here.
It's important that we have fans forums. Fans should be able to ask me questions. I've no problem attending them.
So season tickets is a prime example where we felt that the Fans Parliament was an integral part of the decision-making process. So rather than us coming up with a decision and telling people that's what we've done, we wanted it to be a genuine two-way discussion.
So what about our vision for the future?
The message has got to get out there, and we've tried to do it. Well, I've tried to do it constantly in programme notes to say, look, this is what we're trying to do. We've got to give people a reason to come back next season and go, right, we mean business, and we're going to try and do it. We're going to try and play a style of football that everybody can enjoy.
To all those people out there who are thinking, shall I renew my season ticket or not? Look at what the club is doing. Look at where the club is going to. Look at the vision we're talking about now, because that is what we're going to do. I'm determined to make sure that this is a long-term vision, that we develop players through the academy, we have a better recruitment, we get a better stadium to watch the football in, we've already started improving the training ground and all those other facilities. We're going to be a major player in the community. So come along and be part of that.
I first dragged my dad along to a game when I was 6, sat up in the far end of the Dolman stand there near the East End, and it was a 1-0 home win against Bury in 1990, so it was 89-90 season when we went up, and I've dragged him well and truly into it ever since. That passion runs deep, and a lot of what we're trying to do now is related to that, in terms of, you want to see young hungry players coming in, you want to see local boys given every chance to succeed through the academy, and ultimately you want to succeed.
So that's what we're asking you to get behind next season. That's our vision for Bristol City.
Keep supporting your local team.